impression of Miss Neal Flowers is one of those upstanding career public officers. Even in her dealing with me, I felt that that was clear. And I also felt in her initial instruction that the circumstances around which she was suspended, she was called to a room and spoke along with the director and the other two young men who were accused. And basically, the two young men were asked questions in her presence. And it is after that interview that she was suspended. So I just felt that the whole thing was contrived, and certainly that the recommendation for dismissal was unduly harsh.
Okay. Ma'am, several of the allegations centered around the passport, which was the foreign passport which was presented. And there is mention in the report of a memo from the director of Immigration, Maria Marin. Could you tell us what role that memo played in the allegations against Ms. Neal Flowers?
We were able to secure a copy of a memorandum dated 19 April 2013, shortly after the passport regulations had been passed, the amended ones. In that memo, the director instructed the officers to utilize only the Belize nationality certificate to process applications for a passport for persons who had nationality by registration. So that was the only document that was required. And we do feel that that became the most critical piece of evidence because there were three allegations centered around a supposed duty by Mrs. Neal Flowers to compare the foreign passport with the present application that she had in her hand. And we're saying that this was not so, and that the director ought to have disclosed this document to the commission in all fairness. But it was inequitable, in my view, that all aspects of the issue were not looked at. We had a valid nationality certificate, and you have a memo that is timely in its own way, saying, okay, this is all that you need to focus on. Because if you look at the actual passport application form, it does state clearly that the foreign passport would be required. So there was a change in the process that came in April 2013 through this memo. And now you're saying you can solely determine this application based on a nationality certificate. So it is unfair for you to say to Sharon Neal Flowers, you should have looked past that nationality certificate, and you should have investigated a document that was originating from your own immigration department, and because you did not do so, you should be dismissed. That is unfair.